Hello everyone, welcome to the first ever episode of NSU Unfiltered. My name is Alexandria Munroe and I'm one of your hosts, and I'm joined today by my co-host.
Sorry. My name is Jonathan Paul, and this is NSU Unfiltered. This episode is going to be heart to heart. We're going to be talking about long-term relationships, long-distance relationships, and being single. For our first segment, we're going to be talking about long-term relationships. Let's welcome our guests, Jocelyn, Saccucci, and Jeremy Jones. How you guys doing?
Thank you for having us. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Well, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Okay. Okay, great. Ooh, a little close. Okay.
So we know the two of you guys are in a long-term relationship. How long have the two of you guys been together?
So we met last February. We met in February of 2024. Right now, obviously, we're in November of 2025, but we're coming up on 2 years.
Two. How did you guys even meet? How did you guys meet? What was that about?
So we met on Hinge.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we were texting for I said a few weeks, and the way we actually met, it was for the Super Bowl. I've been dying to meet her, texting back and forth, and I invited her to a Super Bowl party, and that's how we met the first time.
Okay, he is burying the lead a little bit here. He invited me to a Super Bowl party, which when you think about that, kind of is okay, all of his friends are gonna be there. No, it was his entire family.
Oh. Wow.
So he picked me up, and on our very first date, I had already met his mom, his aunt, and all of his cousins.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. We did have a lot of fun, yeah.
So Jocelyn, what about Jeremy's Hinge profile stood out to you?
Well, I obviously very much so noticed that he was my type. But other than that, I noticed that he just had a sense of humor, which I really liked. And I think that's the one thing that I really like about Jeremy. Well, not the one thing, but one of the things that I like the most about him is that he has such a sense of humor, and that is so important for me in a relationship. And so, yeah, he just immediately caught my eye. I saw him and I was like, that one.
Okay. Perfect.
And Jeremy, what about Jocelyn's profile stood out to you?
Oh, she had this one thing, make it Kermit the Frog impression, sorry. And I thought that was pretty hilarious. She's obviously stunning, so she's really pretty. She messaged me first, so, that's how I came across her file. But, yeah, I loved her, just by the look of her, and then, texting back and forth, I was, really excited to meet her. Never felt that, way, getting butterflies, when you get a text message from someone, definitely got it from her, so, yeah.
Can we get a clap for that or something? Okay, now Jeremy and Jocelyn, what was your first impression of each other? Seeing them in person, getting their feels. So how was that?
I was like, oh my God, he's tall. But other than that, I just immediately noticed that he had a sense of humor, and we immediately had this sort of banter that was really nice. He was so interesting to me. The way he talked and the way he talked about things was I was very engaged in the conversation. And honestly, that whole night we were at the Super Bowl party with his family, but it was just me and him sitting on the couch, talking. And, even nowadays, we've been together for a year, almost 2 years, and it's still the same way. We'll be together and we'll just be talking. We don't run out of things to say to each other.
Okay. What about your first impression of Jocelyn?
She was so tiny. She was so small, and I was like, oh my God, she's so cute. And when we started talking, she was just hilarious. She has a great sense of humor, and I don't know, she was very comfortable with me the first day, as in being able to strike conversation. And I don't know, I fell in love with her the first day I met her, but obviously we, spoke for a while before, taking it to the next step. But, I really liked her. First impression was great.
That's amazing. We're gonna pause that for 2 seconds. Does anybody from the audience, I'm gonna take some questions from the audience. Anybody.
I had a question. What are some hardships that you both had to overcome during the 2 years?
No, guys, it's been smooth sailing. No, obviously we get in our arguments. I will be the first person to admit this. I am so irritable. I am unfortunately one of those people that is quick to anger. And it has definitely been a little bit of a learning curve for me to be in a relationship and learn to give my partner grace, understand that sometimes he says things, but just because I interpret them one way doesn't mean that he means them that way. So yeah, that is wholly on me. I am just like, I am an irritable person just like by default, and I get easily frustrated. I get very stressed out, but he's been very patient with me, which I'm immensely grateful for, because I think a less patient man would have probably thrown me in the river by now.
I would say time. We work a lot, so making that work. She met me like in the transition of jobs, but when I got this new job, I own my own business, and it's very time consuming. I'm working every day. There's no days off. So just making it work, I think that was a big thing. But I think we're doing great. Never really had any serious problems.
Talk about some hardships. What's one piece of advice that you guys would give to people who are trying to be in a long-term relationship to get through those challenges?
Just remember that at the end of the day, you guys both want the same thing, and you guys both want to get over the problem. I don't think there's anyone in the world, maybe there's people out there that like want to argue with their partner, but at the end of the day, you need to remember that you are in this relationship because you love this person, and just because they might hurt your feelings sometimes, even if it's accidental, at the end of the day, they're still human, you're still human, and what you both want is to have that relationship and understand each other.
What does it take exactly? I'm gonna ask you, Jeremy, what does it take to be in a long-term committed relationship?
I don't know, I guess how it works, definitely find someone that's like your best friend. I enjoy every moment I have with her. Let's say, I like growing my life with her. I don't know how else to explain it, but she's definitely someone I definitely see myself in the future with. Let's say for arguments, you can't forget the reasons why you love someone. That one argument is not going to determine cancel out the whole reason why you're with this person. So definitely be very understanding. Just listen and try to get each other's point of view, and that's how you can make it last.
Well, can we clap it up for our guests, Jeremy and Jocelyn? I want to thank you guys for joining us for our first segment about long-term relationships. We're going to be right back about long-distance relationships. Stay right there.
Hello everyone, welcome back to NSU Unfiltered, Heart to Heart. We hope you all enjoyed our last segment about the long-term relationship between Jocelyn and Jeremy. Our next segment is going to be on long-distance relationships. So please help us welcome two guests who are in long-distance relationships, Olivia Zolk and Isabella Perez.
How are you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, amazing, wonderful. I don't know if you guys mind telling me, but how did each of you meet your partners?
Well, actually, I met my partner because we did gymnastics together. So it was already from a long time ago that I had been knowing this family, been knowing him, his brother. So yeah, that's how I met him originally.
I met my partner on a dating app.
Dating app? What app is it?
Hinge, the only one.
So Hinge is a very common denominator in this relationship.
The two of you are in long-distance relationships. How far is the distance between you and your partners?
So my relationship is with somebody that's in the Army. So he's in the military. So my distance really bases it off where he is on post. Right now, my relationship, he's in New York, I'm here, so it's a couple states away, let's say. So yeah.
So I'm in the same boat. My boyfriend is also in the military. He's in the Coast Guard. So same thing, just depends on where he is. So right now he's in North Carolina and I'm down here.
Okay. How do you guys plan to see each other? Is it holidays I go see him, holidays he comes sees me? I'm gonna ask you first, Isabella.
Okay, so again, he's in the Army, so it really depends on what he's doing based on his job, if he's sent to do some work somewhere else. Mostly he does have holidays off. For example, he will be down here for Christmas holiday. So that's really good. But it really bases it off communication, that's our key, and we'll see who can go up when. Okay. So yeah.
It's kind of different. It's pretty much the same thing. We're we're in a little bit of a different situation because he's only gone for 3 months, and then he'll come back, and then he'll leave again. He's not as like gone as long as her boyfriend is, so it kind of just depends. Like, he comes and goes more often, but he's home for a longer period of time. So yeah.
So how did you guys make the decision that a long distance relationship was right for you? Because a lot of people decide they can't make it work.
No, yeah, that's actually a funny question because if I'm being honest, the first thing that I told him was I never believed in long distance relationships, nor did I ever want one. So it's really like against what I wanted in the beginning. But now, like how I said, it really goes down to the person that you're dating and like trusting that person and knowing really like, again, I've had known him for probably like 4 years before we really started dating or like looked at each other like that. So the trust that I have that person is really, really high. And again, the comfort, like I know we can make it work. So that's why I decided to, okay, let's give it a shot.
My situation was a little different. When we freshly started, like probably after like 2.5 months of us being together, that's when he left. So it was like freshly into the relationship that he left. Like she said, I kind of just decided that it was like worth it to see how when I didn't have a choice, he was leaving anyway. So it was whether do I want to be with him when he's gone. He's only gone for 3 months. So he was coming back. So I kind of decided, like I think I can do this.
Okay. Does anybody from the audience have any questions? All right, you, ma'am, state your name, your year, and your major, and then ask them the wonderful question.
Kira Tripke, I'm a senior human nutrition major. How would you say, like, I'm about to end up in a long distance relationship. How would you end up dealing with that? Like, what are some ways to maintain your connection?
I actually am not going to lie. I got advice from Isa because she was already in the long distance when I started it, and she's probably the only person that I knew that was. So I kind of went to her. Just making sure your communication is there is really just honestly it. Communication goes a long way. Making sure you still are making time for each other, like doing homework together, eating dinner together, even though it's over the phone, it's still being able to like spend that quality time with them even from miles apart. That's kind of what helped me.
And again, how I said, I was kind of like the initial motivation and like the one that gave advice to Liv because she also started as an army. But for any long like distance, what I would like recommend is you still can do dates. It's still a normal relationship. Find that time, find date nights, play games, like keep that connection because no matter where you're at, you can still always be close through the phone or even in person, So date nights, movie nights, communication, texting, like be very, very clear and like always communicate. So, yeah.
Being in a long distance relationship, where do the two of you see your relationships going in the future?
Like I said, this is a new relationship. Like we've been together for 5 months and 3 of those 5 months have been long distance. So it's not that I'm not like, oh my God, like we're gonna last, but you never know what happens. But like personally, he keeps traveling, but it's something I've already got. Like when it first happened, I was like, it was rough for me because this is my first ever boyfriend and my first ever boyfriend is long distance. But now that I've kind of gotten like the feel of what it's like and it's really not as bad as I thought it was, I mean, I'm willing to do it again, 100%. There's no like ifs and buts, and I was able to go up there and see him like, so I think it's just that, it's good.
For me, again, I had known this family for longer. I had known him for longer. So I see this relationship going, again, I don't just date to date. I do see myself, again, life can happen, life takes turns, but I do see myself potentially, I'm not gonna say getting married, but yes, like going long distance with this person right now. So yeah.
Can we clap it up for our guests? I want to thank you guys for joining us for this topic of long distance relationships. Our next topic is going to be about being single. So we'll be right back.
Hello everyone, welcome back to NSU Unfiltered Heart to Heart. We hope you all enjoyed our last segment on the long distance relationships that Isabella and Olivia are both in. Our next segment is on the single life in Gen Z. So please help us welcome our next guest, Jehu Ceromaine.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Thank you for joining us.
How's your day going so far?
It's going great, First time I talked to her, so I'm really nervous.
So, as we know, you are single. Have you ever been in a relationship before?
Yes, I have been in a relationship before, like a year ago. Yeah.
Why did you get out of that relationship?
So the reason why I got out of a relationship is because of long distance. So like, so with us, right, like we were really good together because at first we were in high school together. Then we both went to like separate colleges. So everything was going fine at first, you know what I'm saying? Like we always communicated, FaceTime, all that good stuff. But like, you know, it just didn't work out. But I wish the best for her, and yeah, that's how I feel.
So, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been single for? And are you looking to get back into dating?
I'll say like, I've been single for like a year now, in a couple months. And I'll say like, well, yeah, like I feel like if a zing happens, and if you don't know what a zing is, it's basically like, you know, like that, you know, that love that just pops up, you know, from Hotel Transylvania. So yeah, that's how I feel.
To you, you know, that you're single, how important to you is your alone time?
I feel like my alone time is very important, you know what I'm saying? Because like I feel like at the end of the day, like while you're going through life, you're still like figuring out, you know, what you got going on, what you want to do in the future and all that good stuff. But like at the same time, I feel like it's also cool to be able to like do that with somebody too. So, you know, that's how I feel about that.
We're gonna pause and take a question from the audience. Anybody? Oh, woman right there, black shirt. Please state your name and your year and your major. Go ahead.
My name is Victoria. I'm a junior and I'm a dance major. And I was just wondering, like, you know, you're single. What do you do in your free time? What keeps you busy and like not thinking of, you know, anything that's just not worth your time?
I play basketball all the time. You know, I have my homework, my assignments and all that good stuff. And I have like many good friends around me. I'm also in a fraternity too, where we do a lot of events and everything. So I feel like it's a lot of distraction that happens, you know, in my life that like really lets me be able to, you know, go through that and not be in that depressive mode. Like, where my lady at? You know, just sitting in bed, you know, 3 a.m., you know, listening to, you know, depressive. Yeah. Shout out to Drake. Yeah.
What are some things that you'd want to do differently?
I'll definitely say like to do differently, like, you know, like spend more time together. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like having that time, you know, with your boo thing is very important because you get to know them better. You get to be able to, you know, communicate better because communication is a like very big thing in a relationship. I feel like in a relationship, no communication, that's just not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like there might be something you don't think that's a problem. They're gonna think it's a big thing. So I feel like communication is very big. So like to improve more on that because sometimes like, you know, things will like could go wrong. And I feel like, you know, like sometimes not saying nothing is okay, but it's very important to like, you know, say it now before later it becomes like very, you know, bad and big, you know.
Now, to be honest, you could tell me, like what qualities are you looking for in that woman if you're trying to get into a relationship?
I'm not a picky person, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you know, if she's my type, you know, and we vibe together, you know, like I could talk to her about anything, you know, that, you know, she's like my best friend, like the other couple said earlier. I feel like that's like very important to be able to like feel comfortable and to go through that journey of life with them because, you know, there's the dating and then there's the marriage. And then after you marry, that's like something like very important. So I want to make sure that, you know, I choose the right one and, you know, continue that journey.
You said you've been single for quite a while and you've been enjoying it pretty well. What's some advice you'd give to someone who's trying to enjoy their single life?
Take your time and be very patient because I feel like sometimes people would like try to rush their way into a relationship and like sometimes, you know, when you're going too fast, you'll crash. So you got to make sure you take your time, you know, make sure you communicate with that person, know how they feel because if you overstep that boundary, things can go left very quickly. So, you know, take your time, just vibe with them, do your thing, and everything will, you know, set their pace.
Can you say that last bar again? If you go too what?
If you what?
Go too fast, you'll...
If you go too fast, you'll crash.
That's a bar. I like that. Yeah, it's very demure. I want to thank you guys for joining us for our first episode of NSU Unfiltered. This episode was Heart to Heart. We talked about long-term relationships, long-distance relationships, and being single. I'm your host, Jonathan Paul.
And I'm Alexandria Munroe.
And I want to thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, you're good. You can go back and enjoy.